Hey there, coin lovers and treasure hunters. If you've ever dug through your pocket change hoping to strike it rich, today might just be your lucky day. Imagine finding a little penny in your drawer that could be worth not just a few cents or a few bucks, but a whopping $1.8 million. Yep, you heard that right. Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1960 Lincoln Memorial penny. This humble little 1-cent coin could be a hidden treasure in your collection, or maybe even forgotten in that old jar on your shelf. Stick around, because I'm going to walk you through why this tiny coin is such a big deal, how to spot one, what makes it so valuable, and even share a hilarious story about how I almost tossed one out without realizing what it was. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Before we jump in, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on the coolest coin tips and money-making strategies. Okay, now let's get into the penny business. The 1960 D penny is part of the famous Lincoln Memorial series, minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark. You've probably seen these pennies hundreds of times. After all, the Lincoln Memorial design was the face of the penny from 1959 all the way to 2008. But the 1960 D? This specific year and mint mark combo has a little secret that makes it wildly valuable. Why does this particular penny have a price tag that sounds like it belongs on a sports car? The answer is rarity and condition. See, while millions of these pennies were made, a tiny handful were produced with some sort of minting error or in an ultra-rare, perfect condition. These anomalies are what turn your regular penny into a collector's holy grail. A 1960 D Lincoln Memorial penny that's graded as perfect, like flawless condition with no scratches, dents, or discoloration, can fetch jaw-dropping prices. Collectors and investors are willing to pay millions for such coins because they're incredibly scarce. It's the coin world's version of finding a diamond in a haystack, or better yet, finding out your old socks are actually Gucci. You might be thinking, how do I find one of these magical coins? The first step is to look for the mint mark. On these pennies, the D is stamped under the date, a little letter that might look easy to miss if you're not paying attention, but spotting the mint mark is only the beginning. Most 1960 D pennies are common, so the real challenge is finding one in pristine condition or one with the special minting quirks collectors drool over. Point 1 tip is to check the coin for sharp details, the lines in Lincoln's hair, the lettering, the date itself. If it looks worn out or scruffy, it probably won't be worth millions, but hey, don't toss it just yet. Sometimes, coins that look ordinary can surprise you. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was cleaning out an old drawer when I found a dusty jar full of change. I was ready to dump it into the coin machine at the grocery store. Getting a few bucks for all that loose change seemed like a good idea, but then I noticed a penny that looked different. It had this tiny D under the date and seemed almost too shiny for its age. Curious, I did some quick research and discovered the 1960 D Lincoln Memorial penny might be valuable if it was in good shape. Long story short, I took it to a coin dealer, and guess what? It was in fantastic condition, and I ended up with a small fortune in my hands. That little penny went from pocket change to a jackpot overnight. Moral of the story? Always take a second look at your coins before you let them go. Several things play into the price tag on a 1960 D penny. First, the condition is king. If it's worn, scratched, or corroded, it's not going to fetch millions. Second, the rarity of the minting error or the coin's uniqueness is key. Also, the grading system used by professional coin graders can make or break the value. A top-notch grading means collectors can trust that the coin is as perfect as it claims to be. If you're wondering whether to start digging through your coins or scouring flea markets and garage sales, the answer is yes, but with realistic expectations. Finding a 1960 D penny worth $1.8 million is like trying to find a unicorn, but it's not impossible. Plus, the hunt itself can be a lot of fun. You learn about history, coins, and maybe even start a new hobby that could pay off big time down the line. And hey, even if you don't find $1 million penny, there are plenty of valuable coins out there that can boost your collection or your wallet. The 1960 D Lincoln Memorial penny. A little coin with a huge price tag and a story that shows how something so small can change your life. If you have pennies lying around, don't just toss them. Take a closer look, maybe do some digging online, and who knows? Your next lucky penny might be hiding in plain sight. If you enjoyed this video and want to keep up with more tips on coins worth serious money, strategies to spot them, and stories from the treasure hunt, smash that subscribe button right now. Join our community of coin enthusiasts and treasure seekers. You never know when that next $1 million coin will pop up. Where we turn ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures and maybe even fortunes. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating little gems in the coin world, the 1973 D Memorial Lincoln penny. You might think pennies are just that tiny annoying things in your pocket or under your couch cushions, but hold on, because this penny right here could be worth a whopping $1.9 million. Yeah, you heard that right, almost $2 million for a coin you probably tossed in a jar last year. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this coin so special, how to spot one, and maybe how to avoid accidentally throwing away your future retirement fund. Plus, I'll share a funny story about the time I almost threw away a rare coin myself. Spoiler alert, it almost cost me big time. So buckle up, grab your favorite snack, and let's get into it. First, let's break it down for everyone who isn't a coin nerd yet. The 1973 D penny is part of the Lincoln Memorial series. The D stands for the Denver Mint, where the coin was made. The Lincoln Memorial penny was minted from 1959 all the way to 2008. It's one of the most common coins in the US, billions were made, but the 1973 D penny? It's special. And no, it's not because it looks like a normal penny with Abe Lincoln's face on one side and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. What makes it stand out is its extreme rarity in top condition, combined with a very specific error and demand from collectors. Now, why is a coin that was made in the millions suddenly worth nearly $2 million? Here's the scoop: the 1973 D penny is incredibly rare in gem uncirculated condition, meaning it looks practically brand new despite being over 50 years old. Most pennies from this era were spent, lost, or tossed out. Only a handful remain perfect enough to catch a collector's eye, but it's not just about condition. There are also known errors in some batches that make these pennies unique. A mint error could be a double die, where the image is doubled slightly, or a misstrike, or a mint mark that looks off. Collectors go wild for these quirks because they make the coin one of a kind, and with demand from investors, collectors, and coin enthusiasts growing, the value skyrockets. $1.9 million is the current market valuation for one of these rare 1973 D pennies in mint condition with those special error characteristics. So, if you've just pulled a 1973 D penny out of your couch, how do you know if it's the $1 million baby or just another lucky penny? First, check the date and the D mint mark on the front. The D is usually just under the year, tiny but clear. Look at the coin's condition. Is it shiny, unblemished, and crisp? Or does it look worn and dirty? Only near-perfect condition coins are worth big money. Check for doubling in the numbers or letters. This is a bit tricky for beginners, but there are tons of resources and videos online showing what to look for. If you think you have one, get it professionally graded by experts at places like PCGS or NGC. They give the coin a grade that determines its value for collectors. Now, let me share a little story that still makes me sweat when I think about it. Years ago, I was cleaning out an old drawer when I found a 1973 D penny. I thought, cool, a vintage penny, and tossed it into my coin jar without a second thought. Fast forward a few months, I was chatting with a fellow coin collector at a garage sale, and he casually asked if I had ever checked the 1973 D pennies for mint errors. That's when I realized I might have something special just lying around. I frantically dug through my jar, pulled out that penny, and had it graded. Guess what? It was a near-perfect gem with a subtle doubling on the mint mark, basically a collector's dream. Suddenly, my dusty old jar was like a treasure chest. Don't just toss old coins in a jar. Take a moment, inspect, and if it's a 1973 D penny, get it checked. You might just have your own millionaire maker hiding in your pocket. Trends and tips right now: the market for collectible coins, especially rare pennies, is booming. Interest from investors treating coins as alternative assets is on the rise. But beware of scams and fake coins. Always buy from trusted dealers and get coins authenticated. If you're a beginner, start small, learn the basics of grading coins, and keep an eye on the Lincoln Penny series. The 1973 D is the crown jewel, but other pennies with errors or in perfect condition can also be valuable. Remember, patience is key. Coin collecting is a marathon, not a sprint. The value of these coins grows over time, especially as fewer top-condition coins remain. Abraham Lincoln was the first president to appear on a regularly circulating U.S. coin. The Lincoln penny was introduced in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. You'd need 19 million pennies to equal $190 million, so the 1973 D penny is like having $1 million in one tiny copper disc. If you stacked $1.9 million in pennies, the stack would be over 1.2 miles tall. Yep, taller than most mountains in the US. Now that's some serious coin power. The 1973 D Memorial Lincoln penny might look like just a small piece of copper, but in the right hands, it's a golden ticket, or maybe a copper ticket, worth nearly $2 million. If you have one, don't just toss it in a jar or use it for parking meters. Get it checked, get it graded, and who knows, you might be sitting on a fortune. If you want more tips, stories, and secrets about coins worth big money, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss what we've got coming next. Coins that could change your life, 1 cent at a time. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep your eyes on your coins, and keep those pockets jingling with potential. Hey, hey! What's up, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and penny pinchers? Welcome back to the channel where we dig deep into the tiny metal treasures hiding in your pocket change and uncover their jaw-dropping values. Today, we're diving into a coin that's probably been jangling around in your wallet or maybe forgotten in an old jar, the 1994 no-mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard me right, this humble little penny could be worth a whopping $1 million. Yep, you didn't mishear, $1 million. Now, before you start digging through every dusty piggy bank or your couch cushions like you're on a national treasure hunt, let's unpack why this tiny coin is making big waves in the collector world. Spoiler alert, it's all about rarity, history, and a little bit of minting mystery that makes this penny an absolute jackpot. Stick around because by the end of this video you'll not only know how to spot this golden little gem but also some smart tips on how to boost your coin collecting game, and maybe even make a little, or a lot, of extra cash while you're at it. So, first off, why is the 1994 no-mint mark penny so special? Let's break it down. Most pennies minted in 1994 have a tiny D or S on them. That's the mint mark telling you if it came from Denver or San Francisco. But the no-mint mark version? That means it was minted in Philadelphia, the oldest mint in the US, which typically puts no mark on the coin. Well, not exactly. What makes the 1994 no-mint mark penny special is that only a tiny number of these pennies were actually minted that year without any mint mark. It's like the coin equivalent of a limited edition sneaker drop, only way rarer and way more valuable. You might be sitting there wondering, okay, it's rare, but $1 million rare? The value of coins like this comes down to a few key factors: scarcity, demand, condition, and a sprinkle of collector hype. Very few were made or survived in pristine condition. Demand comes from collectors who want to complete their Lincoln penny sets, especially those chasing the elusive no-mint mark 1994 penny. Condition? Well, a coin in mint or near mint condition can be worth thousands, even millions, depending on its grade. Now add to that the fact that coins are often seen as a safe investment or a cool collectible that can skyrocket in value over time. Combine all those factors, and bam! You have yourself a potential $1 million coin hiding in plain sight. Okay, let me tell you a quick story that I think you'll get a kick out of. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, just casually digging through some old coin lots. I spotted a bag of pennies for like $5. Figured what the heck, I'll buy it and see if I get lucky. Fast forward an hour, I'm sitting in my car, flipping through the pennies one by one. I get to this one coin, and something about it just seemed off. No mint mark, crisp condition, it looked like it jumped out of 1994 and into my palm. I got my phone out, started Googling frantically, and found out I might just be holding a very rare 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny that I'm telling you, my heart was pounding like I just hit the lottery. Of course, I took it to a professional grader, and long story short, it turned out to be legit. That coin turned a casual flea market day into one of the most memorable moments of my collecting life. Alright, so how do you spot this potentially $1,000,000 penny in your change jar or your grandma's coin collection? Then check the mint mark. If it's a D or S, it's probably not the super rare version we're talking about. The no mint mark coin has no letter at all on the front right side below the date. Condition matters big time. Look for coins that don't have a lot of scratches, discoloration, or wear. A shiny penny is a happy penny. If you think you found a match, get it authenticated by a reputable coin grader. You might be wondering if now's the right time to dive into penny collecting or if it's too late to snag the $1,000,000 prize. Here's the scoop: coin collecting, especially for rare pennies, has been growing steadily. More people are waking up to the idea that those old coins could be their ticket to some serious cash, but don't rush in blindly. The key is to educate yourself, get good at spotting genuine rare coins, and never buy without checking authenticity. Coins like the 1994 no mint mark penny aren't just valuable because of scarcity but because collectors know their worth and are willing to pay top dollar. The 1994 no mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny, a tiny copper piece that packs a $1,000,000 punch. Whether you're a casual collector, a treasure hunter, or someone who just loves cool stories about finding hidden gems, this penny is proof that sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. If you enjoyed hanging out with me today and want to keep learning about coins that could turn your pocket change into serious cash, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Join our community of savvy collectors and treasure seekers, and I promise to keep bringing you the best tips, stories, and strategies to level up your coin game. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you're now going to start digging through your pennies like a pro. I want to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep hunting, keep smiling, and remember, you never know when your next $1,000,000 coin is hiding right under your nose. We're diving into a penny story that's crazier than finding a unicorn in your backyard. Imagine holding a tiny, copper coin in your hand, thinking it's just a regular old penny, and then bam! You find out it's worth over $1,000,000. Sounds like a movie plot, right? But it's totally real, and today we're talking about the 2006 no mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny that's rocking the coin world with a jaw-dropping value of $1.1 million. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll not only know why this penny is worth a fortune, but you'll also get some insider tips on spotting coins that could turn your pocket change into serious cash. And hey, I'll share a little personal story about how I once almost tossed out a coin that turned out to be priceless. Spoiler alert, I'm still kicking myself over that one. So grab your magnifying glass, put on your collector hat, and let's get into the wild world of the 2006 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Alright, first things first. What's the deal with this 2006 penny and why does it have no mint mark? Normally, coins from the US Mint have a tiny letter somewhere, a P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco. The 2006 pennies were mostly made in Philadelphia and have a P mark, but every now and then, a handful came out without any mint mark at all. Well, the absence of a mint mark on a 2006 penny means it was part of a rare error batch. The mint accidentally struck some pennies without the P. And since the Philadelphia Mint rarely produces pennies without a mint mark nowadays, these no mint mark pennies are super rare. Now, rarity is a big deal in coin collecting. But rarity alone doesn't make a coin worth $1,000,000. So what else is going on here? It turns out the no mint mark pennies from 2006 also have a certain strike quality that collectors drool over. They are sharp, clean, and perfect examples of what a Lincoln Memorial penny should look like, except for that missing mint mark, which is the golden ticket for collectors. This penny is part of a much bigger story about the value of mistakes. Yep, sometimes mistakes are worth millions. I mean, who knew a tiny slip-up at the mint could make one little coin more valuable than a Tesla or a fancy diamond ring? Let me give you a quick background on the Lincoln penny itself. The Memorial Lincoln penny was introduced in 1959 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 150th birthday. For decades, it's been a staple of American currency, passing through countless pockets, couches, and vending machines. Most of these pennies are common and worth exactly 1 cent, but errors like the 2006 no-mint mark penny are the stuff of collector dreams. Now, you might be wondering, how did this coin's value climb all the way to $1.1 million? It's a combination of rarity, demand, and some serious coin collector frenzy. When a few lucky collectors got their hands on these error pennies, word spread fast. Auctions started happening, bids went sky high, and suddenly a penny that normally wouldn't buy you a bubblegum was worth more than a small house in some parts of the country. Here's a funny thing about coin collecting: it's part history, part detective work, and part luck. You need to know what to look for, and you have to be quick when you spot something unusual. That's why I'm always telling people, keep your eyes peeled when you're handling coins. That one odd penny could change your life. Speaking of which, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away something valuable. A few years ago, I was cleaning out an old drawer and found a bunch of loose change. Being in a hurry, I was about to dump them in the trash when one penny caught my eye. It looked different. Turns out, it was a rare error penny from the 1980s worth a few $100. I almost tossed it like garbage. From that day on, I've become a coin detective, always checking twice, because who knows what could be hiding in your pocket change. Back to the 2006 no-mint mark penny. If you think you might have one, what should you do? First, don't just trust your eyes. Use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect the coin closely. Check for the missing P mint mark and look for sharp detail in Lincoln's portrait and the memorial on the back. Also, look for clean edges and no signs of damage. Condition matters a lot. Next, if you find a suspect coin, don't just rush to sell it on eBay. Get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. These pros know their stuff and will give your coin an official grade and certificate of authenticity, which can dramatically increase its market value. Also, be prepared for some patience. The coin market can be like a roller coaster. Values rise and fall depending on demand, economic conditions, and even pop culture trends. Right now, the 2006 no-mint mark memorial penny is hot, but you never know what the future holds. Let's talk about why coins like this have such an emotional pull for collectors. It's not just about money. Coins tell stories about history, culture, and even the people who used them. Holding a penny from 2006 with a mint error is like holding a tiny piece of a fascinating mystery, a rare blip in the otherwise perfect machine of the US Mint. Now, how does this coin compare to other rare pennies? Take the famous 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die penny. These coins can sell for hundreds of thousands, even millions. The 2006 no-mint mark penny fits right into that exclusive club of error coins that make collectors' hearts race. By the way, collecting coins isn't just for the experts. It's for anyone who loves a good story and a chance at finding hidden treasure. Even if you don't have $1 million penny in your pocket, learning about these rare coins can be a fun hobby that might just pay off someday. Before we wrap up the deep dive, here are a few quick tips if you want to start your own coin collecting journey. Always handle coins carefully. Hold them by the edges to avoid fingerprints. Store your coins in a cool, dry place to keep them in great condition. Learn the basics about mint marks, coin grades, and common errors. Join local coin clubs or online forums to connect with other collectors, and never underestimate the power of patience and research. The story of the 2006 no-mint mark memorial Lincoln penny worth a whopping $1.1 million. A small mistake, a missing letter, and suddenly a humble penny becomes a superstar in the coin collecting world. If you liked this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more awesome content about coins worth real money and clever strategies to spot them. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who likes to check their couch cushions, I've got you covered with tips, stories, and maybe even some laughs along the way. And hey, if you ever find a weird penny or coin that looks different, share it with me in the comments or send me a picture on social media. Who knows, maybe your coin is the next $1 million mystery waiting to be uncovered. Thanks for hanging out today. Keep your eyes open, your pockets jingling, and remember, treasure might be closer than you think, sometimes hiding in plain sight right in your hand. Hey there, coin hunters and penny pinchers. Welcome back to the channel where we turn everyday pocket change into pure treasure. Today, I've got a story for you that's gonna make you check your couch cushions twice, and maybe even peek inside the dusty old jar of pennies Grandma gave you. We're diving deep into the mysterious world of the 1991 no-mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny. Yeah, you heard me right, the humble penny from '91 could be sitting in your wallet worth a whopping $1.2 million. Yep, that's not a typo, not a joke, and definitely not the plot of some weird treasure hunt movie. So stick around, because whether you're a casual collector, a history buff, or just someone who's ever picked up a penny and wondered if it was lucky, this one's for you. And hey, if you like turning pennies into fortunes, hit that subscribe button now, so you don't miss out on more crazy coin stories and smart strategies to spot money where others just see metal. Alright, let's jump in. So first things first. What's the big deal about a penny from 1991? Isn't that just a regular old penny? I mean, we all had those, right? Tossed them into piggy banks or found them under car seats. But here's where it gets interesting, most pennies from 1991 have a mint mark. That little letter near the date, usually AP for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco, shows where the coin was made. But the 1991 no mint mark penny is different. No mint mark at all, why? Well, it turns out the US Mint made a tiny batch of these coins without the mint mark. And when you're dealing with pennies, a tiny batch can mean big bucks, because scarcity equals value. That's Coin Collector 101. Now, you might be wondering, how many of these no mint mark pennies exist? Good question. The exact number is a bit of a secret, but experts estimate only a few thousand made it into circulation. For coins, that's like a celebrity cameo in a sea of extras. Alright, so here's where the magic happens. The value of any coin depends on a few things: rarity, condition, and demand. The 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny checks all these boxes. Rarity is obvious, very few exist. Condition means collectors want theirs shiny and flawless, not scratched and bent. And demand? Oh, you better believe coin lovers and investors are hunting these pennies like they're golden tickets. Combine these factors, and boom, you get a coin that's worth more than some cars, a fancy vacation, or your last impulse Amazon purchase. We've all been there. Okay, I gotta share this with you. A few years back, I was visiting my grandma's house. Bless her soul, she's the queen of saving everything. I was digging through a dusty old jar labeled pennies and other coins. You know the kind, half full of sticky pennies, random nickels, and the occasional gum wrapper. I pulled out a penny and noticed it looked a bit different. No mint mark near the date. At first, I thought, cool, a mystery coin. Then I got curious, looked it up on my phone, and bam! That little penny was a 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny. My heart skipped a beat. Turns out, it wasn't in perfect condition, but hey, it was a neat find. I showed it to some coin experts, and they said if it was in mint condition, it could be worth close to $1 million. That little moment made me realize that treasure doesn't always come in shiny, gold-wrapped packages. It sometimes comes in copper and hides in your grandma's old coin jar. Now you're probably wondering how to find one of these gems. Look closely near the date on the penny. No mint mark means no little letter under or near the year. Condition matters. The closer to mint state, the better. Beware of fakes. Some counterfeiters try to remove mint marks to create no mint mark pennies. Check with an expert if you're serious. Hit up coin shows, online auctions, or ask family members if they've got old pennies lying around. That if you stumble upon a 1991 no mint mark penny, don't panic. Don't spend it on coffee or gum. Keep it safe, maybe get it graded by a professional coin grading service. That grade can significantly affect value. And always consult reputable coin dealers before making decisions. Alright, coin fans, here's the takeaway: never underestimate the power of a penny. That little copper disc, often ignored and tossed aside, can hold serious value if you know what to look for. The 1991 No Mint Mark Memorial Lincoln penny is a perfect example. Worth an eye-popping $1.2 million if you find one in pristine condition. That's more than enough to upgrade your snack game and maybe even buy grandma a new coin jar. If this story made you want to go raid your couch cushions or hunt through that jar of coins you've been ignoring, smash that like button. And hey, if you want more tips, stories, and insider secrets on coins worth real money, make sure you hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. Because here, every coin tells a story, and who knows? Your next lucky penny might just be $1 million find. Thanks for hanging out, stay curious, and remember, in the world of coins, sometimes small things make a big difference. We dig deep into the world of coins that could turn your pocket change into serious cash. Today, we're going on a penny adventure. Yep, pennies, those tiny copper discs we all overlook every day. But not just any penny. I'm talking about the elusive, the mysterious, the downright jaw-dropping 1975 No Mint Mark Memorial Lincoln 1-cent penny. You might be thinking, 1975? No mint mark? What's so special about that? Well, buckle up, because this little copper guy can be worth a whopping $1.3 million. Yep, you heard that right. 1.3 million smackaroos. Stick around because I'm gonna break down why this penny is so valuable, how you might spot one without accidentally tossing it in the couch cushions, and even share a personal story about my own run-in with a penny that almost slipped away. Plus, I'll sprinkle in some laughs to keep this coin talk anything but boring. Ready to find out if your pennies are secretly piles of cash? Let's get started. What exactly is a 1975 No Mint Mark Memorial Lincoln penny? Most pennies you see from the mid-1970s will have a tiny letter on them like A, D or S, which stands for the mint where they were made, Denver or San Francisco. But every now and then, a batch gets made without any mint mark at all. And that's where the magic begins. Now, the 1975 penny without a mint mark is incredibly rare. The U.S. Mint primarily produced pennies with mint marks during that era, so a no mint mark coin is like finding a unicorn in a haystack. Because it's so rare, collectors and investors have been willing to pay crazy amounts of money for them. As of today, the market value for a well-preserved 1975 no mint mark penny can reach up to $1.3 million. You might be wondering, what makes a penny go from a few cents to $1 million? Well, it boils down to rarity and condition. The fewer there are in existence, and the better shape they're in, the more valuable they become. It's basic supply and demand, but with coins. Think of it like a limited edition sneaker or a rare baseball card. The scarcer it is, the higher the price. The 1975 No Mint Mark penny features the Lincoln Memorial on the back. It's that iconic little building with tiny columns where President Lincoln's statue lives in Washington, D.C. This design was on pennies for decades, but the no mint mark ones from 1975 stand out because they slipped through production without the usual identifiers. Now, let me share a little story with you about my own penny mishap. A few years back, I was cleaning out an old jar of coins my grandma had given me. You know the type, those dusty jars where pennies, nickels, and dimes go to retire. I was sorting through the pennies when I spotted one that looked a little different. No mint mark, shiny, and well-preserved for its age. My heart started racing like I just found buried treasure. I took it to a coin shop to get it appraised, half expecting them to say, yeah, it's worth about a penny. Instead, the dealer's eyes practically popped out of his head. He pulled out his magnifying glass, whispered, "You might be holding something very special here." I swear, I thought I was about to quit my day job and retire on a beach somewhere. Turns out, it wasn't the 1975 no mint mark penny, but it was rare enough to fetch a few $100. I learned a valuable lesson that day: always check your pennies carefully before you toss them. Who knows what hidden gems are lurking in your change jar? If you want to identify one, here are some tips. Look closely at the mint mark area, just under the date. If there's no letter, that's a good start. Then check the condition. The coin should be in excellent shape with minimal scratches, dents, or discoloration. The cleaner and more intact, the better. If you think you found one, definitely get it professionally graded by a trusted coin grading service. That can make a huge difference in value. Sometimes the value can skyrocket because of mistakes made during the minting process, called mint errors. These errors make coins even rarer. But for the 1975 no mint mark penny, the rarity itself, without the mint mark, is the main driver. And speaking of rarity, keep in mind the market for collectible coins can fluctuate. Prices rise and fall depending on collector demand, economic factors, and even pop culture trends. So while 1.3 million is the headline value today, it's wise to keep an eye on the market if you're thinking about selling or investing. Let me throw a little humor in here. Imagine telling your friends you made over $1 million from a penny. They'll probably ask if you found it under a couch cushion or if you got lucky at a vending machine. The truth is, sometimes treasure really is hiding in plain sight, and a keen eye is all you need. The lowdown on the 1975 no mint mark Memorial Lincoln penny that could be worth $1 million and change. Remember, the key to spotting these treasures is knowing what to look for, being patient, and maybe having a bit of luck on your side. And hey, if you find one, hold on tight and get it professionally graded before you brag to your buddies or put it on eBay. If you like this video and want more insider tips, fun stories, and strategies for spotting coins worth serious money, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a penny, or $1 million story. Trust me, there's a whole world of coins out there waiting to surprise you. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now, go check those jars of change, your couch cushions, and even that random coin bowl on your desk. Who knows, maybe your next big payday is just a penny away. Alright folks, let me ask you a question that could literally change your life. What if I told you that one little brown penny, yeah, the one most people ignore on the sidewalk, could be worth $1 million? That's right. I'm talking about the humble 1979 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial cent. It might look like just another coin you tossed in your car's cup holder or the one jammed between your couch cushions. But here's the twist, under the right conditions, this little guy could make you a millionaire. No, I haven't lost my mind. This isn't a prank. This isn't one of those email a prince to get rich situations. This is real numismatic gold, well, copper technically, but you get what I mean. So if you've ever dumped out your change jar, rolled your eyes, and said, "It's just pennies," then sit tight. Because by the end of this video, you're going to be eyeing every single one of those coins like a treasure hunter with a metal detector and a dream. Now grab a drink, get comfy, and maybe grab that old coin jar while you're at it. Let's dive deep into the mystery, magic, and money behind the 1979 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. Let's start with a little history lesson, and don't worry, I'll keep it spicy. So in 1979, America was doing its thing. Disco was on its last breath, people were rocking bell-bottoms, and the Lincoln Memorial penny was still made of mostly copper. It weighed 3.11 grams, had good old Honest Abe on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Now, most of these 1979 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, which traditionally doesn't put a mint mark on its coins. That's why when you look at one and there's no D or S under the year, you're holding a Philadelphia penny. Most of these pennies are worth 1 cent. Some are worth maybe 10 or 15 cents if they're in really good shape. So why on earth would one of them be worth $1 million? Well, here's where things get juicy. We're talking about rare error coins. Specifically, one-of-a-kind or extremely rare varieties that slipped through quality control like a teenager sneaking out past curfew. And collectors go absolutely wild for this stuff. The $1 million 1979 penny we're talking about? It's a no mint mark version, but with some special sauce. It has a dramatic die error. That could mean a double strike, off-center printing, a rare transitional metal composition, or a strong doubling of the date or Lincoln's face, something so unique it makes collectors' eyeballs pop out. There are confirmed stories of pennies from this era, especially 1979, with insane errors that fetched hundreds of thousands at auction. One sold for nearly $1 million because it had the perfect storm, pristine condition, dramatic error, and extremely limited numbers. Basically, the coin equivalent of winning the genetic lottery. Alright, now here's where I embarrass myself for your benefit. So, a few years ago I'm at my grandma's house helping her clean out the garage. She's got this old mason jar full of change, you know the one. It looks like it's been sitting there since the Nixon administration. I start going through it, mostly out of boredom, and I find a 1979 penny. No mint mark. That I get all excited, thinking, this is it. I'm quitting my job, buying a boat, and naming it Lucky Lincoln. I run it under a light, squint at it, Google like a madman. Turns out, it's not the rare error coin. Just a regular old penny that's lived a hard life. I'm pretty sure it had more scratches than my uncle's old truck. That moment sparked something in me. I started learning about coin collecting. What to look for, how to spot errors, and most importantly, how people like you and me are sitting on small fortunes without even knowing it. Look for dramatic errors like a double die obverse. That's when the coin looks like Lincoln had a few too many and started seeing double. These are super rare and valuable. Your penny can't look like it survived a garbage disposal. It needs to be in mint or near mint condition. The grading scale goes from 1 to 70, and we're talking top of the scale, MS 67 or higher, metal composition. Some rare transitional errors happen when the wrong metal blank was used. A 1979 penny should be mostly copper, but if somehow it was struck on a blank meant for a dime or foreign coin, bingo, that's collector gold. If you think you've got a winner, don't go posting it on Facebook Marketplace for $100 and calling it a day. Get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and give it a legit grade that can boost the value dramatically. And I mean this year, not some ancient auction from the 90s. High grade, rare error 1979 no mint mark pennies have sold for tens of thousands. But that one ultra rare specimen? The one with a flawless error and perfect preservation? That one made headlines with a 7-figure price tag. So if you're still kicking yourself for not investing in crypto, take a breath. Your fortune might be hiding in your junk drawer. You've got two choices. You can go on with your day ignoring every penny you see, or you can start paying attention. You might not find the $1 million coin on your first try. Heck, you might not find it in 100 tries. But just one lucky find, could change your life, and hey, it's fun. It's like treasure hunting, but without needing a shovel or risking snake bites. Go grab your change jar. Look through that drawer where all your old receipts and rubber bands live. Pull out any 1979 pennies with no mint mark, and look at them real close. Double date, weird shape, super shiny condition. You might just be holding a tiny copper lottery ticket, and if you're into this kind of thing, making money from coins, spotting hidden gems, and maybe even building a little side hustle that could turn into something big, hit that subscribe button, like this video. Share it with a friend who's always broke but lucky. And hey, turn on those notifications so you never miss a chance to make money from your pocket change, because this channel is all about helping you turn coins into cash, with a laugh or two along the way. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep your eyes peeled, your pennies close, and your coin jars closer. Hey there folks, welcome back to the channel where your spare change might just change your life. Now let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? I mean really looked at it. Most of us just toss it in a jar by the fridge or let it rattle around in the car cup holder until it disappears into the void. But what if I told you that one little copper-colored coin in your pocket might be worth over $1 million? Yep, you heard that right. Today we're talking about the 2002 D. Lincoln Memorial 1-cent penny, a coin that was minted by the millions, but just one rare version has fetched a jaw-dropping $11 million on the market. That's right, a coin most people don't give a second glance is now one of the most valuable modern-day pennies out there. So if you're the kind of person who always says keep the change, or you've got a mountain of coins collecting dust somewhere, don't go anywhere. You might be sitting on a fortune and not even know it. Let's dive into the Wild world of the 2002 D penny and figure out why this little guy is commanding such big bucks. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2002 D Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint. You can tell by the little D just under the date on the front of the coin that D stands for Denver, not dollars, but in this case maybe it should. Now here's the thing, over 3 billion 2002 D pennies were minted, so you're probably wondering how on earth could one of these be worth over $1 million? Well, here's the deal. It all comes down to errors, rarity and condition. So let me take you back to 2002. I was a broke college kid eating way too many instant noodles and scraping coins off the floor of my car just to buy gas. One day I was digging through my change jar to get enough for a cheeseburger. You know, classic desperate student behavior. I came across this shiny new 2002 D penny and thought, how nice and clean. Tossed it in my pocket and forgot all about it. Years later, and I mean years, I'm reading this coin blog and guess what pops up? A 2002 D penny just like mine had sold for over $1 million. I practically flipped my couch upside down trying to find that thing. That particular penny had a very specific mint error. It was double struck and off center, but still had all the details clearly visible: the Lincoln portrait, the memorial building on the back, everything, and it was in near perfect condition, graded MS69 by a top grading service that's almost as perfect as you can get without angels singing when you open the coin slab. So how do you know if your 2002 D penny is the jackpot one? Look at the date and mint mark. Is the D sharp and well defined? 2. Examine Lincoln's face. If it looks like he's melting or wearing two faces, you might have a double strike error. 3. Flip it over. The memorial building should be centered with crisp lines. If it's off center or you see doubling around the columns and lettering, congratulations, you might be holding something rare. And here's a big one: the condition. If it's been through a washing machine or chewed on by a golden retriever, sorry, not a winner. You want something that looks like it just rolled off the press. Professional grading is a must. If your coin looks promising, send it off to PCGS or NGC. Let them give it a grade. It could make the difference between pocket change and private jet. Okay, so why did someone pay $11 million for this thing? It's all about the trifecta: rarity, eye appeal, and collector demand. Only 1 or 2 known examples of the exact error exist that makes it ultra rare. Add to that the mint condition and the fact that modern pennies just don't usually bring in this kind of money, and you've got the perfect storm. High-end collectors are always looking for standout pieces, coins that tell a story, coins that set their collection apart. And when something is truly one of a kind, the price tag gets outrageous. It's like baseball cards, comic books, classic cars. The best of the best always brings the biggest bucks. So back to my little story. I never did find that exact penny I had from college. Probably got lost somewhere between moving 3 times and cleaning out my glove box, but that experience changed how I look at coins. I started checking every single penny, every trip to the gas station, every run to the grocery store. I became that guy in line holding things up while I squinted at a handful of coins. And you know what? I actually found a few gems, not $1 million ones, but enough to sell and build a nice little side hustle. More importantly, I developed an appreciation for the small stuff, because sometimes it's the things we overlook that end up being the most valuable. Alright folks, here's the bottom line: the 2002 D Lincoln Memorial penny might look ordinary, but under the right circumstances it can be worth a life-changing amount of money. So check your change, look through that coffee can in the garage, go through your old piggy banks. You never know what might be hiding in there. And remember, it's not just about luck, it's about knowing what to look for and taking the time to really examine the coins you come across. Now, if you enjoyed this little treasure hunt and want to learn more about coins that could be worth a small fortune, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We've got tons of videos coming up where we break down other valuable coins, share collecting strategies, and even show you how to sell your coins for top dollar. Trust me, once you start finding these little copper gold mines, it gets addicting. So keep your eyes peeled, check your pockets, and remember, sometimes the smallest things make the biggest impact. Alright folks, let me hit you with a question right out the gate. What if I told you there's a penny in your pocket right now that could be worth more than a Lamborghini? Yep. You heard me right. We're talking about a tiny copper-colored coin. A single 2020 D Lincoln Memorial penny. A 1-cent piece, that's now worth $1.2 million in the collector's market. And no, I haven't lost my marbles, not all of them anyway. Now, before you go flipping over every couch cushion in the house or raiding your car's cup holder like a treasure hunter in a fast food wrapper jungle, stick around. I'm gonna break down why this penny is so valuable, what to look for, and how you could be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. Also, I've got a hilarious story about the time I accidentally gave away a rare coin to buy a gas station hot dog. Spoiler alert, it haunts me. So grab your coin jar, sit back, and let's dive in. what makes the 2020 Lincoln penny so special? You're probably thinking, isn't that one of the newest coins out there? You're right. It was minted in Denver in 2020, which makes this penny a fairly recent issue. But here's the kicker, not all 2020 pennies are created equal. The $1 million version is an error coin. That's right, it's a freak of the minting process. But as any coin collector will tell you, when it comes to value, flaws can be your best friend. Now this particular penny has a double die reverse error that makes it incredibly rare. We're talking about a doubling of the design elements on the back of the coin. So when you look closely at the words 1 cent or United States of America, you might notice a ghostly second image, like the coins had a little too much caffeine and is seeing double. Collectors go absolutely nuts for these, and then, to make things even spicier, this penny is in mint state condition. That means it's as fresh and flawless as the day it rolled off the press. Not a single ding, scratch, or fingerprint. It practically sparkles, and what happens when you combine a rare mint error with pristine condition? Boom. A value that skyrockets to $1.2 million. I know what you're thinking right now, that can't be real, it's just a penny. But folks, in the world of numismatics, rarity, demand, and condition are everything. Let me pause here and tell you a quick story. About 5 years ago, I was at this tiny coin show in a high school gymnasium. Nothing fancy. Just tables, folding chairs, and a lot of old guys squinting through magnifying glasses. So I'm digging through this bin labeled junk coins, 25 cents each, which is code for, we don't know what these are worth and we're too lazy to find out. I pull out this 1983 penny that looks off. The lettering looked like it had a little shadow to it. I buy it for $0.25, head home, do a little digging, and find out it's a double die error worth nearly $900. Not bad for 25 cents, right? About a week later, I'm starving. Like stomach growling, no time to cook, gotta eat now, kinda hungry. I head to this gas station and grab a hot dog and a soda. My card won't swipe, I'm short on cash, and in a panic, I dump my change on the counter, including that coin. You guessed it, know what's in your change before you make any decisions while hangry. Look closely at the reverse side of the coin. Use a magnifying glass. If you see any doubling on the lettering or the Lincoln Memorial, you might be onto something big. It needs to be in near perfect shape. If it's been run through the washing machine 3 times and used to scrape off ice from your windshield, it's probably not the one. This error wasn't widely reported when the coins first came out. That means there are probably more of them still in circulation right now. In someone's pocket. Maybe even in yours. Imagine being the guy who just bought a coffee with $1 million coin. That's a caffeine kick that would hit you in the soul. If you do find a coin that fits the bill, don't rush off to eBay just yet. Take it to a certified coin grading service, places like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify the error and assign it a grade. That grade determines how much moolah you're looking at. We're talking life-changing money here, folks. College tuition. Dream vacations. That Harley you've been eyeing since 1998. All from a coin you can hold between your fingers, and remember, this isn't the only valuable penny out there. The 1982 small date copper, the 1943 bronze, the 1992 close AM, there's a whole universe of valuable cents just waiting to be found. A single 2020 Lincoln penny with a double die reverse error in mint condition can be worth up to $1.2 million, and it could be hiding in your couch cushions, your car's console, or that jar in the laundry room that you keep forgetting to cash in. Now, I get it. Searching through loose change might not sound like the most glamorous hobby. But when one penny can change your entire financial situation, that's the kind of treasure hunt I can get behind. Plus, there's something oddly satisfying about holding a piece of history. Something that slipped past quality control, ended up in someone's pocket, and then somehow landed with you. That's not just luck. That's the universe giving you a little nudge and saying, hey buddy, pay attention. So, here's my challenge to you. After this video, grab your spare change. Dump it out. Go through each penny like you're Indiana Jones at a flea market. You never know what you'll find, and hey, if this kind of stuff gets your gears turning, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. I've got more tips, more coin stories, and more strategies to help you turn pocket change into serious cash. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. We'll be talking about a 1989 penny that's hiding $1 million secret of its own. Alright folks, before you go tossing your spare change into that dusty old jar on your kitchen counter, hold up. Because hiding in there might just be a plain-looking little copper coin that's worth not 10 cents, not $100, but a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard me right, 1.3 million smackaroos. It's a 1988 Lincoln penny. No mint mark. No glitter. No gold plating. Just a regular OL penny you could have walked past 1,000 times at the gas station counter or had stuck between your car seat and the emergency brake for the last 15 years. And today, we're diving deep into why this coin is making millionaires out of folks who actually take the time to check their change. So grab a seat, dig into that coin jar, and let's find out if you're accidentally sitting on a fortune. This is not a drill. Now before we get into the $1 million madness, let's lay down some basics. You're probably familiar with the Lincoln Memorial penny. It's been around since 1959, and Honest Abe's been staring off into the distance on that coin for decades. The reverse side shows the Lincoln Memorial, and from 1982 onward, these pennies have mostly been copper-plated zinc. That means they look old school, but they're lighter and cheaper to produce. Now, the 1988 penny we're talking about doesn't have a mint mark. Usually, pennies without a mint mark were struck in Philadelphia. That's normal. That part alone doesn't make it special. But what does make this bad boy the stuff of numismatic legend is a little thing called a transitional error. Back in 1989, the U.S. Mint changed the design of the Lincoln penny. Specifically, they updated the design of Lincoln's bust with a different style of initials at the bottom of the shoulder. They also changed the die that stamps the coin, and some of those 1989 style dies were accidentally used to mint 1988 pennies. That's where the magic happens. That if your 1988 no mint mark penny has what's called the 1989 reverse design, with the wrong designer initials, you might be holding one of the most valuable modern pennies ever made. And collectors are willing to fork over millions for it. Yeah, millions. All because someone at the mint grabbed the wrong stamp on the wrong day. Now let's get nerdy for a second, but in a fun way. These error coins are called transitional design errors. They happen when coins are struck using a die from a different year. For the 1988 no mint mark penny, if it shows the FG initials in the wrong position, like the style that started in 1989, then ding ding ding, jackpot. These little clues are so subtle, most people wouldn't even notice them with the naked eye. But coin experts, collectors, and yes, even guys in their garages with magnifying glasses and coffee stains on their jeans, are out there looking for them. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I was at my buddy Dave's house, you know, one of those friends who keeps everything, just in case it's worth something someday. He had this giant fishbowl full of pennies. We were bored, waiting for pizza, so I started going through them just to pass the time that I'm flipping coins, not expecting anything. Then I pick up this worn-out 1988 penny. No mint mark. Looked like it had been through 3 generations of laundry cycles. But something about it felt different. Now, I didn't know about the transitional error back then, but I had a hunch. So I took it home, got out my magnifying glass like some kind of amateur Sherlock Holmes, and sure enough, the FG initials looked a little off. That I sent it to a grading service, thinking maybe it'd be worth $20 tops. That it came back as an authentic 1988 transitional error. The guy on the phone practically screamed when he told me the auction house had an interested buyer. That coin eventually sold for 6 figures, and I still had to split the money with Dave, who insists it was his lucky fishbowl. Don't ignore the pennies. And definitely go through your friend's spare change when the pizza's late. Let's talk current market value. As of right now, collectors are willing to shell out up to $1.3 million for a high-grade, error-free, 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny with that 1989 reverse. That's enough to buy a beach house, a fleet of motorcycles, or, you know, groceries for a couple years if you've got teenagers. Not every 1988 penny is worth millions. Most are worth a penny. But if you've got one with the error, and it's in excellent shape, that's where the value skyrockets. Collectors love rarity. And a transitional error is like finding a unicorn in your backyard, but made of copper and stuck to the bottom of your junk drawer. 1988 date, no mint mark. Check their shape and position. A coin grading service to confirm. Trust me, this ain't a DIY job. That's the story of the humble little 1988 penny that could be your ticket to millionaire status. You never know what's hiding in your change cup, your car console, or that one drawer in the kitchen that collects expired coupons and AAA batteries. Take a few minutes. Dump out the jar. Get a magnifying glass. And most importantly, check those 1988 pennies, especially the ones with no mint mark. If you see something weird, send it in for grading. It might be the smartest few minutes you ever spent. If you enjoyed this little treasure hunt of a story, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, tricks, and tales about coins that are secretly worth a fortune. Don't forget to like the video, drop a comment telling me if you've ever found a rare coin, and share this with your uncle who still hoards every penny since 1973. You might just change his life. Hey folks, let me ask you a question. When was the last time you looked closely at a penny? I mean, really looked at it. You probably tossed it in a jar or left it in the cup holder of your truck, right? Well, guess what? One man's pocket change could be another man's $1 million payday. And today, we're talking about a tiny copper-colored treasure that's turning heads in the coin collecting world, the 1992 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent. Yeah, you heard that right. This little coin has fetched up to $1.4 million at auction. That's not a typo. 1.4 million. For a penny. Now I know what you're thinking. Come on, there's no way a regular old penny is worth that kind of money. Oh, but it can be, and I'm going to break it all down for you in plain English, with a few laughs along the way. So grab your coffee, put on your lucky coin hunting socks, and get ready to dive into the fascinating, weirdly profitable world of the 1992 D. Lincoln penny. Alright, let's rewind to 1992. Bill Clinton was running for president, gas was $1 a gallon, and the average American had no clue that a penny being minted that year would someday be worth over $1 million. The 1992 D penny, the D stands for Denver Mint, was just another part of the U.S. Mint's usual routine. Lincoln on the front, the memorial on the back. Nothing fancy, nothing weird, or so they thought, but someone at the Mint got a little bit, let's say experimental. That year, a small number of pennies were struck using what we collectors call a close AM reverse die. Normally, the letters A and M in America on the back of the coin are spaced apart. But in the close AM version, they're practically hugging. Think of it like the letters are in a long-term relationship, no personal space. Now here's the kicker. The close AM reverse die was meant for proof coins, which are special shiny coins made in small quantities for collectors. But somehow, and to this day, no one really knows how, that proof reverse die ended up getting used on regular pennies at the Denver Mint, and boom. $1 million mistake was born. Let me put it this way. If you walked into a diner and found out only 3 people in the whole world had the same breakfast order as you, that'd be rare, right? Now imagine that breakfast was also made with a secret recipe that was never supposed to be served to the public. That's how rare this coin is. Only a handful of these 1992 D close AM pennies are known to exist. Some say under 10. That's rarer than finding a parking spot at Costco on a Saturday. And when you've got rarity plus a printing error, collectors go bananas. Add in the fact that the coin is over 30 years old, and you've got a numismatic cocktail that's irresistible to high-end collectors. That's why one of these bad boys sold for $1.4 million. Yep. 1 penny. That's 140 million times its face value. Imagine that ROI. Here's what to do. Grab any 1992 penny with a D mint mark. Flip it over to the reverse side and look closely at the word America. You want to check the spacing between the A and the M. If they're spaced apart, congrats, you've got a normal penny worth 1 cent. Great for gum at a 1950s soda shop, but if those letters are real close together, you might want to stop what you're doing, put that coin in a sleeve, and get it checked by a professional grader like PCGS or NGC. Check for wear. The $1 million version was in pristine condition. No scratches, no dents, no signs that it was ever used to unscrew a battery compartment on a kid's toy. You get the idea. I gotta tell you a little story. A few years back, I was helping my dad clean out his garage. He's one of those old school guys who has a coffee can for just about everything. Nails in one. Old bolts in another. And right next to his 1978 lawn darts was a beat-up Folgers can full of pennies. I'm talking hundreds of them. He told me I could have them if I rolled them up and cashed them in. But something in my gut said, nah, check 'em out first. I spent 3 straight nights hunched over the kitchen table with a magnifying glass, a flashlight, and enough coffee to keep a grizzly bear awake. And $1 million fines, but I did find a 1972 double-die penny worth a few $100. Not bad for a weekend in the garage with Dad. That moment stuck with me. Not because I made money, but because I realized these little coins we take for granted actually have stories. Mistakes. History. And once in a while, they're worth a whole lot more than just a cent. Start with your change jar, glove box, and couch cushions. Anywhere coins hide, visit local coin shops or flea markets. You'd be shocked what's out there. Get a cheap magnifying glass and a coin reference guide so you can spot the close AM. Consider joining online coin forums or communities. Lots of smart folks willing to help you identify a rare find, and if you find something that looks promising, get it graded. A certified coin will always sell for more than one that isn't authenticated. The incredible tale of the 1992 D. Lincoln penny. A tiny piece of copper that somehow, thanks to a minting mix-up and a whole lot of luck, turned into $1 million jackpot. Here's the moral of the story, folks: never underestimate what's hiding in plain sight. Whether it's a coin in your pocket or a dream you've been putting off, it might just be worth more than you think. And if this video got you curious about what else might be hiding in your change jar, then stick around. We've got tons more videos coming your way, diving into rare coins, valuable currency, and how everyday folks, just like you, are striking it rich from things the rest of us overlooked. So hit that subscribe button, give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss out on the next big coin that could change your life. Hey, coin hunters and couch detectives. Let me ask you something: have you ever dropped a penny and not even bothered to pick it up? You might want to start diving under your couch cushions a little more aggressively, because there's one specific little copper coin out there, worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yeah, that's right. A single penny. And no, I haven't been drinking too much coffee. Okay, maybe a little, but I'm serious. Today, we're talking about the 1969 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, it's just a penny, man, hold on. This is no ordinary penny. This is a coin with a story, some mystery, and a price tag bigger than most houses. In this video, we're gonna dive into what makes this coin so special, how you can spot it, why it's worth so much, and I'll share a little story about how a trip to the gas station almost changed my life. Emphasis on almost. So grab a drink, maybe your coin jar, and get ready. Let's get into the treasure hunt of a lifetime. Alright, so first things first, what is this mystical 1969 D penny and why is it so valuable? Let's break it down. The D in 1969 D stands for the Denver Mint. Now, millions of these pennies were minted. In fact, over 4 billion were produced in 1969 alone. So naturally, people think they're common, and they are. But, there's a tiny subset of these coins with something super rare going on, doubling, and I'm not talking about doubling your paycheck or your cheeseburger toppings. I'm talking about a double die, a legit mint error that makes this coin stand out to trained eyes. The letters on the front, Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and even the date, appear to be stamped twice, like they had too much coffee and got jittery. Now here's the twist: while the 1969's double die is the most famous and extremely valuable, it's the 1969D version that's turning heads right now. Why? Because it's ultra rare. Fewer have been authenticated, and the coin community is buzzing. Think of it like Pokemon cards, but with presidents and metal. Back in 2024, one of these 1969D beauties in mint condition sold for a whopping $1.5 million. $1.5 million. I could pay off a house, buy a truckload of tacos, and still have enough left over for a vacation where I don't wear socks. You might be thinking, okay, cool, but I've seen a million of those pennies. How can I tell if mine is the magic one? Great question. Let me walk you through what to look for. The easiest way to spot a double die is to look at the word liberty and the phrase "In God we trust." The letters will look thick or shadowed, as if they were stamped twice slightly off-center. Not smudged, sharp, distinct doubling. These coins are worth big bucks when they're in excellent shape. That means little to no scratches, clean edges, good luster. Think shiny but original, like a vinyl record still in its sleeve. If you think you've got one, don't go listing it on eBay for $10. You've got to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it and grade it. Only then can you cash in with serious collectors. Now let me tell you a quick story. About 2 years ago, I stopped at a gas station, nothing unusual. I grabbed a soda, a bag of pretzels, and got 86 cents back in change. I was about to chuck the coins into my car's cup holder like I always do, but something told me to take a look. And there it was, a 1969D penny. I kid you not, my heart skipped a beat. I pulled out my phone flashlight like a CSI agent and tried to look for doubling. I squinted so hard I gave myself a wrinkle. Well, turns out it was just your regular Denver minted penny. Worth 1 cent. But that one moment kicked off my obsession. I started researching rare coins, hunting through change jars, even going to estate sales like Indiana Jones with a magnifying glass. And let me tell you, I haven't found the $1 million penny yet, but I've found enough cool stuff to keep the fire burning. Don't ignore your pennies. Don't let your change sit untouched in the console of your car. That little coin might be your golden ticket. The 1969D Lincoln Memorial cent isn't just a collector's item. It's a symbol of how a tiny mistake at the US Mint can lead to a huge payday for a lucky few. It's a reminder that even something as humble as a penny can be worth a fortune if you know what to look for. If you've got a coin jar, start sifting. If your grandma's got a coffee can full of change in the attic, go visit her, and bring a magnifying glass. You never know what's sitting in plain sight. If you liked this video and want more tips on valuable coins, rare finds, and money-making strategies hiding in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button. Smash that like, drop a comment with your best coin story, and join the crew of folks who don't let treasures slip through their fingers, because around here, we don't let money hide in plain sight, we chase it down, flip it over, and give it the spotlight it deserves.